peeps, how are ya? So if you're new to my channel, my name is Vic and I'm a full-time nomad currently traveling around the North American continent and loving it. So today I thought I would do a video on my journey to becoming a full-time nomad. But let's first talk about some of the key reasons why I love the lifestyle. It's partly about the freedom to wander and doing it on my own terms, which means bringing my tiny house with me. And I love having my morning coffee with a different view. Sometimes it's mountains, sometimes seaside or lakeside, sometimes it's desert, sometimes it's a forest. You never know, depending upon the location. It's also partly about spending more time in nature. And I love the minimalist lifestyle it affords. Less stuff, more adventure and experiences. And the icing on the cake is the incredible nomad community that I meet on the road, spend time with, develop friendships, and ultimately travel with from time to time. You can't beat that. I also was not happy in the conventional lifestyle I was living, in a house which was fully paid off, working a local job. I craved adventure. I wanted movement. I wanted change. I'm just not comfortable living in one place. It just doesn't suit me. And I do have a background in camping. I grew up often tent camping, sometimes for the entire summer season. And for most of my adult life, I've moved around quite a bit. And that includes living and working overseas for approximately 17 years in the Europe and Asia Pacific regions. The decision wasn't taken overnight. I did spend approximately 6 years of research, and that included watching many YouTube videos, including of some of my favorite channels, Cheap RV Living, Minivan Lee, just to name a few. And I read a lot of books, and I reviewed a lot of gadgets, and, worked on getting my learning curve on understanding the different types of rigs and the pros and cons of each, and also to start to think about the financial considerations of living on the road and whether I could afford to do it. And in that process, I knew I wasn't ready to go full time. So what I did do was I decided that I would build a rig myself, and I would go on local camping trips with the rig. And also after I did some local trips, I would do a cross-country trip. So I did build a rig. It was on a Chevy Silverado 2500 heavy-duty diesel truck. And what I did was I built out the back of the truck. I put a cap on it, and then I built out the back. I put in carpentry, I made a small bed, and then in the back seat of the cab, it was a crew cab, I had a platform under which I would store things, and then the platform also enabled me to build in shelving in that area as well. After going on some local camping runs, I kind of realized that the build wasn't really working for me. So I ripped it all out, and then I went to a rooftop tent, and then I put an awning on the truck, and then I also added what's called a road shower, which basically is a tube that you fill with water and it heats up in the sun, and then you can take a shower outside. And in the truck bed, I basically put all my gear in different plastic boxes on wheels so I could pull them out easily when I needed particular things. And also in the truck bed, I put a composting toilet. And once I had everything rebuilt and ready to go, I then went on my test run across the country, which I'll share with you now. Once I got back from that trip, which went really well, I wasn't quite ready to go full time. It took me probably about a couple more years to make the decision. And then once I hit that tipping point, it then took me about a year to sell my house and most of my personal belongings. And then I also had other things that I had to do to transition into the lifestyle. And also, it took about a year from the time I put a deposit down on the rig to actually getting it. So now, after having been on the road for just over a year and absolutely loving it, I can't imagine going back to a sticks and bricks, to be honest with you. I'd like to do this lifestyle as long as I can. But something that I think is very important for anyone thinking about it, really three key points, and they do relate to financial aspects. One is, I would not do this lifestyle unless you have a rig that's fully paid off and in excellent working order. Secondly, I think you really need to have savings and a source of income. Obviously, the level of savings may impact the source of income that you may need. For me, I'm 60 years old, soon to be 61. I have a lifetime career behind me as a lawyer and working in legal services. So I do have some savings, and I do continue to work remotely in legal services. I'm also working on developing additional revenue channels, including my YouTube channel, which I hope you'll subscribe to, because it would really be appreciated and it will help me out in terms of my long-term goals. Another takeaway is security on the road. And as I'm a solo female traveler, I think I kind of have a heightened level of security risk that I need to be mindful of. I will do a separate video on what I do to minimize that risk, but let's just say that security is a very important aspect of the lifestyle, and I will share in that video on security some of the scary stuff that I've experienced so far. So that's my nomad journey in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks all. Take care. See you in the next video.